One hack job with an angle grinder later. Oh shit. That works great. This little speed bump here is keeping me from laying my DIN rail block in there flat. Cool trick, huh? After some trial and error, but arguably not enough, I've decided to put it here. How about there? If there was any doubt before, I'm definitely not returning it to Home Depot now. How have I gotten this far and not used my step bit yet? This is my step bit. I never knew my real bit. Hey, wait a minute. That doesn't look like a normal fitting. It's not. It's all they had at Home Depot. These have just been precariously dangling in the ceiling for months now, waiting for a box to land in. I'm pretty excited to make them look neat and orderly. Or, I mean, we'll see how good I get it. Oh, that's nice to see. Yeah, most of that's going into the trash can. A lot of this work has transpired off camera. Take my word for it that all of my decision making and craftsmanship was impeccable. I sure hope I drilled my holes accurately. I don't want to talk about it. You know, it's a lot faster than waiting for your flow simulation software to complete a render. Just fucking guessing. How about right here? Let's just take this away. Last thing I need is for this fan to get full of the world's smelliest plastic. You're a special kind of dull when you don't do a good job cutting plastic. Right there. This is a job for my trusty skinny pencil. Now, success here all hinges upon me being able to drill a straight hole in the first place, so let's see what skinny pencil gets me. My, they're awfully close to the edge. Check out my tapping arm. It doubles as my beer arm. Starting to get that itchy feeling. Makes me think fiberglass was involved in the construction of this enclosure. If I was a burr, it would be my dream to slowly cut through a wire and cause a big problem for some poor bastard. Yes, very tight fit. That wasn't deliberate. Oh, they all fit. Fuck yeah. See that little gap right there? No, you don't. The layout for this grill is largely driven by wanting it to look cool. That's pretty much it. Using one of these things makes me feel like a ship captain in the 1600s. I think that came out looking pretty good, except for, you know, that, but I'm sure the air going through it won't mind. And also, it'll let me kind of passively inspect the components inside. Here's a visibility test. Can you tell what I'm doing in there? So I made a little bit of an oopsie in the phasing of my assembly. I definitely should have left these tubes just dangling before trying to pull wires, because now I have this sharp angle to pull wires around. when I could have had a path that was completely free. But that is why I'm making this thing. Spare piece of Smurf tube. I have a lot of it left over. Thank goodness for these grooves to help hold the epoxy. Otherwise, you know damn well when you jam it into that hole, it's all just going to smoosh up to the top and not stick to anything. Or it's going to be such a loose fit that it doesn't even grab the wall at all. Let's see. My fears about it squirting out the sides were not well founded. What's within arm's reach that I can jam in there? Let's see. Anybody can whittle, but only some people can whittle in a panic while their glue is drying. Oh, well, I'll be that. It's actually working. Is this one of those composite materials I've seen on the Discovery Channel? All right. Hopefully it works better than it looks. All right, that is a reasonably good solution to a problem of my own making. Sure hope those are lined up. You know, if you listen very carefully right now, you can hear the sound of somebody who's been doing this for 30 years, who's telling me that I'm wrong. Left myself a tab. All right, this guy's ready to boldly go. The first run has been installed successfully. Lessons learned are, this thing was as functional as it was ugly. This thing is a fucking mess. Friction washers were a good idea. And see these radii? They look pretty swoopy, huh? Make them swoopier. I'm pulling from the very top here, and they're just straight shots all the way down to here. So for this section, I just use this dangly thing. I swear my bookcases are not this color. My phone just decides to help me out and do color balance on the fly. So thank you, phone. Thank you for that. When that happens, you know you did a good job lining your tubes up. On the very last pull, this spool came so close to running out. But I got it. That would be manageable, but it would sure suck. These were both 500-foot spools when I started. These were all full to the brim. I think that whole process went very well, and with almost no waste to speak of. It's amazing. I choose you, and you. Here I am at the bottom, trying to find the red that's loose up there. Here it is. Yes, I know this is the wrong way to do it. There's only two things bad about these. The price and also the price. Looking through the viewfinder, I just realized that some of my books that are in frame might accidentally make me seem smarter than I really am, like Gray's Anatomy and Engineering Differential Equations. Hopefully that's balanced by my copy of The Michigan Dogman, Werewolves and Other Unknown Canines Across the USA. It does look interesting. It's a shame I can't read. And, you know, see this one. Like, what the fuck does any of that mean? And I can certify my credentials as a fucking moron, because the first thing I look for in this book is this. Hey, look at that. It's the gyrus fornicatus. I think I've heard people call your mom that. There goes $50 worth of LEDs and about $3 worth of wire. My time-lapse doesn't record audio, and my fume extractor sounds like two jet engines fucking, so here's a voiceover. Flux is a magical substance that makes me good at soldering. Just a little bit is all you need. These are getting 100% quality checked. That's the most hard work that's come near this pull-up bar in a long time. Time for one of those on-the-fly design changes that always turn out so great. It became immediately apparent that space in this box is going to be at a premium, and this breaker had to move somewhere else. So as a result, we're going to get more creative. Is this allowed? I don't really know, but my guiding principle for most of this project has been it's low voltage, which generally means I can do whatever I want, I think. You're gonna have to trust me that I looked up the proper torque spec for this. Click. I've been waiting a long time to do that. Fuck slotted screws. And fuck Phillips and fuck square drive while I'm at it. Torques till I die. Actually, I'm gonna move that up a bit. 16 gauge is the correct size wire to deliver power here. It can handle the demand of the system and has some safety factor. Anyway, here's some 12 gauge I had lying around. At this phase in the project, I'm pretty determined to make this box look pretty neat and orderly. We'll see how that ambition holds up. Do you know why I'm using this magnet and this nut to get the rope through, the string through here? Because it's hard to push a rope. Yeah. And with that, let there be light. This has quickly become a focal point of our house. People come over and ooh and ah at the green, then I flick a switch and they say, oh, it got greener. The conduit I installed in the wall while building the bookcases was absolutely worth it. Same goes for the conduit I built into the woodwork, and these metal boxes, and these snap-in connectors, and this terminal block, and this power supply, whose rated wattage is twice what my LEDs draw. When I'm doing projects like this, I am absolutely happy to overbuild components. I've learned from experience that when I have to go back years later and I'm elbow deep in my own bullshit trying to fix it, that I don't miss that $100 in my pocket. All I'm wishing is that I just built it right in the first place. Oh, I thought this was worth showing. There's service loops, and then there's I'm terrified of commitment loops.